Welcome, good morning. So finding comfortable tall seat, cushion is good to sit on. Just take a moment with your eyes closed to arrive here on your mat. And notice how you're doing today. Maybe still a little bit sleepy, that's okay. So just taking a few breaths to settle. And cultivate a sense of gratitude, because even though it's early and it's still dark outside, we all got here. So a moment of thankfulness for being together, for this yoga practice, for the ability to roll out the mat and move our bodies, for whatever else you have in your life that's good. And you may wish to set your own personal intention this morning. A beautiful time of the day to do that before most other people are up. Okay, and then take a breath in as you stretch your arms to the side, reach all the way up. And as you breathe out, bring the hands together down through the midline. Interlace your fingers and stretch your hands forward. Now I'm turning my palms towards me. You can move a little bit side to side just to feel into the space between the shoulder blades, opening up there. If it feels okay for your wrists, spin your palms the other way and do exactly the same thing. So stretching out the fingers. And then we'll take the arms overhead, bend your elbows. Palms can be downturned or facing to the ceiling. Yeah, good. Reach up through your waist and press down through your sit bones and just turn your head side to side. Take one hand to the floor, one arm up, and then come over to your side, breathing into the side body. All the way up and over, second side. Good, right back to the middle. Now hands behind the back. You can either put your hands on the floor or you can interlock your fingers and roll your shoulders back. Lift your chin up a bit and back of head comes back. Good, release the hands. Going to bring the arms up again. And then as if you're doing a pull-up, bend your elbows and bring your elbows down like this. Okay. So it's a feeling of resisting something, pulling down, and maybe a little bit pushing back with resistance. So we really activate the upper back and the shoulders. So big breath in as you reach up, and exhale as you pull the arms down. Nice strong shoulders. Inhaling up and exhaling down. One more inhale and exhale. Bring your arms forward, cross your right elbow over your left. As you squeeze the arms together, press the forearms together, and just turn your head, or you can stretch the side of the neck side to side, or turn your head side to side. Okay, and release. Open the arms wide, bend the elbows. Again, that activation in the upper arms and shoulders, and cross the left elbow on top of the right. Squeeze the arms together. Maybe just moving the head, so just easing out any tension. And then release. Okay, good. So just shrug your shoulders up, back and down a few times. So I like to start just with a little bit of shoulder work. I just want you to pay attention to your neck. So maybe it's taking one ear to shoulder, second ear to shoulder. You may have found a bit of tension in the neck as we did those quite strong arm gestures, circling around, little semicircle. And then before we come to fours, circle your wrists. Pay full attention to how the wrists feel. So this idea of really embodying the movement, being very mindful about what we do. So just a fantastic way to get us focused and sharp in the morning. Okay, and then flex your wrists, so the fingers are pointing up. You can push a bit through the heels of the hands and then point your fingers down and pull your fingers in. And then we'll go inhaling up and exhaling down, up, down, and keep going. A couple more. And then like a windscreen wiper, just with the wrists, side to side. Good. I'm just going to let somebody else in and then circle your wrists a few times. Okay, shake out the wrists. Lovely. Hey, Laura. Feel free to unmute if you need to, but hopefully you're okay now. So blanket under your knees if that's helpful to you. Otherwise, we'll come to all fours. Spread your fingers and press the palms down. Okay, cat-cow. As you breathe out, tuck your tail under, rounding the back. And as you inhale, lifting and arching. So try and come into your ujjayi breaths. Keep going with cat-cow. And I think most of you are really familiar with ujjayi, but there's that sense of small contraction at the back of the throat, but without compromising the ability to breathe. So your neck and throat are reasonably relaxed. And there's that little restriction which creates the audible breath, that sighing breath. So moving slowly, warming and limbering up the spine, opening up all those spaces. It's a beautiful practice first thing in the morning after lying so still for so many hours. Now circle your hips around. So bring your hips to the side, back, other side, forward. As you circle, stretch out your fingers, press the fingers down, the knuckles down, and a sense of feeling grounded through the knees with the circling of the hips, palms connecting down to the energy below. So change the direction if you haven't done so. Good. And then tuck your toes under, move your hands back to your knees. So your heels are coming towards your, hips are coming towards your heels. And then we're going to lift the knees a little bit and move the hips back. So you're still on the balls of the feet, and work out how far forward you need to bring the hands so that you feel balanced. And hopefully what you can feel is a little stretch through the calves. So my feet are fairly narrow. You could keep your feet quite close together. And there's a sense of balance as the heels press down and your sit bones come back in equal measure. The arms are outstretched forward. So we're really getting into the calf muscles, the Achilles, certain amount into the lower back. It'll be different for everybody. Lengthen through your neck and just feel that sensation in the back of the body. And you can be up on your fingertips. And we're going to walk the hands forward and come into a downward facing dog. I like to take the feet a bit wider apart. I've actually doubled up 2 mats today just for extra comfort. So please take anything extra that you need as we practice. Bend your right knee and then press your left heel to the floor. You'll feel your hips turn slightly. So lift your left hip up and then switch. Take your right heel towards the floor. Bend your left fairly deeply. Nice strong press through the arms. And you can just lift your right hip up a little bit higher. Then pedal between the two. Be aware of the sensation in the calves through to the back of the heels. Good. Coming to standing forward bend. Hands come back or feet come forward. Bend your knees. Dangle over your legs. Hold your elbows. Nod your head. Release your elbows and start to roll up to standing. Take it slow. Lovely. Okay, and when you're upright, sorry, I think Laura's having trouble connecting today. Okay, Laura, I can see you're having a bit of trouble, so hopefully it sorts itself out. I've hit record as well today, just so that you've got something in case you drop out, all right? So we're going to do a breathing practice to fire us up, get us energized. It's breath of joy. You may have done this with me before. You can start, I'll show you first round. So your knees can be a little bit bent. You don't have to sort of stand really rigid. We're going to bring the arms forward for 1/3 of a breath, out to the side for 2/3 of a breath, and then all the way up. So that's the top of the inhale. And then your feet can be as wide as you would like to either swing your arms back outside of the legs or bring your arms in between the legs. And I'm bending my knees and I'm going to let the head fall down. Okay, so it's quite an energizing breath. You can find your own pace. We'll start off together and then we'll take several rounds. Inhale 1/3, 2/3, all the way. Exhale. Inhale 1. So again, when you're folding forward, just keep it nice and relaxed in the knees. So there's no strain. And you're looking to deepen the breath and take that 3-part breath. And again, finding a rhythm that works for you. So just feel free to slow it down. Breathing is such a good way to change our energy in the morning, set us off to a good start. See if you can go a little bit deeper with that breath in, even if that means slowing it down. So first inhale to the belly, second all the way into the side ribs, third all the way to the top of the chest. Nearly there. Last one. And forward bend. Slowly roll up to standing. Standing in mountain pose, your feet just a comfortable stance. And then place your hands near your hips, turn your palms forward, drop your tailbone down, lift up the crown of the head. Soft gaze or eyes closed. Notice energy in the body, notice how you feel. Bring the hands together in front of you. Take your left thumb on top of your right and interlace your fingers. Extend your index fingers out, so like a little pointy hand, okay? Bring your arms up overhead. So this is Kali Mudra. I'm going to take a side bend across to one side. You don't need to go further than your edge. Keep the legs strong, belly drawing in. Come back up through center, and then the second side. Good, all the way back up through center. Now just take care of your back. You can always bend your elbows and you can soften your knees. We're going to come over to that first side again and just take some little pulses. Again, not going beyond your edge. Back up through the center, and then those little pulses the other way. Back up through center, release the arms down, standing at the top of the mat. Bring your arms to the sides. Take a huge breath in as you stretch your arms up. Exhale, bow forward to your legs, hinging from your hips and bending your knees. Take your hands to shins. Inhale, stretch your chest forward. Keep a little bend in the knees so you're coming to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Step back to a plank pose. Option to put your knees on the floor. Okay, strong arms, belly toned. If your knees are up, come back into down dog. And then forward to plank on your inhale. Exhale back into down dog. You might even have your feet a bit closer to your hands if needed. Inhale to a plank. Exhale back into down dog. Keep your belly lifting. Last one. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, knees down first. Bend your elbows. Move your chest and chin to the floor. Straighten out along the mat. Low cobra, hands either side of the shoulders. Lift your chest. Come down. 2 more, perhaps lifting progressively higher. And on this last inhale, take the breath all the way to the top of the collarbones. So really feel that full breath as you did in Breath of Joy. And all the way down. Amazing. Bring your hands either side of your hips. Lift your legs, lift your chest and arms. Locust pose. Lengthen your neck. Just holding there for 1 more breath whilst you bring your hands behind your back and interlock your fingers. Bring your hands either side of your chest. Press back to child's pose. Come up to fours. Take your right foot forward, left knee down. Pad under your left knee if you need a little bit more support. Okay, and then we're just going to take some pulses. So exactly the same arm movement that we did at the beginning with the arms up, and then it's a strong pull back and down with the forearms. Inhale up, exhale down. Just taking the hips a little bit up and then sending the pelvis forward. Using Ujjayi if possible. Waking up the body with this beautiful breathing practice. Send both arms up towards the ceiling. Hold on to your left forearm. Press firmly into the right foot. And then take a side stretch over towards your left. Belly drawing back, towards your right. Belly drawing back, tail dropping down. So right arm is holding left forearm. And then release. Left hand comes to the floor underneath left shoulder. Turn your chest to the right. Reach your right arm up. And then option to tuck left toes and lift up the back knee. Bring your right hand down inside your right foot. Lift your back knee if it's not up already. And then turn your feet as you walk your hands around towards the long side of the mat. So we're on a wide leg forward bend. You can move your feet a bit closer together. You can also bend your knees if you can't reach the floor. Take an inhale, come up onto your fingertips and lengthen your spine as much as you can. Exhale, forward bend, bow in. Now turn your right toes 45 degrees out to the right. Bend your right knee and bring your hips slightly over towards the right side. Yes. And then we're going to move that left arm slightly further forward and maybe slightly further to the right. Pull back on the outer left hip. Continue walking the hands all the way back round to either side of the front foot, the right foot. Turn the feet to the front of the mat. Step back to down dog. Down dog, relax your neck, relax your jaw. Come forward slowly to plank. Hold plank, ribs up, belly up, feeling strong this morning. Knees to the floor, bend your elbows, lower yourself all the way down. Low cobra on the first inhale. Come all the way down. Second cobra, lift a little bit higher. Third cobra, biggest breath, highest lift. Strong legs, energized through your feet, your toes, all the way down to the floor. Hands move either side of your chest, tuck your toes, press back into down dog. Step your left foot forward, lower your right knee, low lunge. Hands on the front thigh and just check out where you want the feet. Maybe add in any padding. Good, and then the same arm movements, reaching up and bending the elbows on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So you can add a level of softness. It doesn't need to feel harsh, even though I'm encouraging you to do something strong with your arms. Investigating, how's my body feeling this morning without any negative talk? Just a way of assessing. And perhaps coming back to a sense of gratitude if you feel a little bit out of sync with your intention this morning. Okay, we're going to reach both arms up and hold the right forearm, right wrist, and come slightly over to the left. Drop the tailbone down. Neck, head, feeling in a good alignment. Release hold of the wrist, right hand under right shoulder. Turn the chest to the left. Reach the left arm up, beautiful big open twist. The option to tuck your right toes and lift your right knee. Left hand inside left foot, lift the back knee up, turn your feet to the side, coming into that wide leg position. And then just take a moment to move your feet so they're in pretty much the same line. This time, head coming towards the floor, you can bend your knees a little bit, maybe move your feet in slightly closer, and the option to take the hands behind the back, interlock your fingers, and bring the arms away from the back. So if you have a strap nearby, you could grab it and use that. You can keep the fingers down on the floor. Release the hands to the floor. Turn your left toes 45 degrees, so just the front corner of the mat. Bend your left knee, take your weight slightly over towards the left. Keep the right heel grounded. And then as we move the hands further to the left, you can reach your right arm slightly further away from you on a diagonal line over towards the left side there. And then continue walking the hands all the way round, stepping forward to a standing forward bend. Good. Hands on shins, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch up as you bend your knees, coming through chair pose, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Good. Now we just want to circle the hips a few times. So you can put your hands on your hips, or you can put your hands on your back, or you could have your hands on heart and belly. So connect wherever you feel drawn to connect, and just get a little bit more flow around the hips, building up a bit more warmth. Going to come back into Kali Mudra with the hands and take the side bend again. So I love side bends in the morning. Crossing the left thumb on top of the right, extend the first two fingers, press the feet down, breathe in as you lift up. Exhale, come over towards the right. Inhale up to center, exhale over to the left. Inhale up to center, one more time each side. All the way up. Bend your knees, come into a chair pose. Lovely. And then we're going to swing the arms back on the exhale, but keep the chest lifting. So no rounding of the back. Inhale up, exhale back. Maybe building up a little bit more momentum. And like we did with the breath of joy, you could swing the arms back. As you breathe out, feel that kind of pumping action of the belly. Last couple. Forward bend. Okay. Release your neck, your back. Soften your knees, roll up to standing. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot back to come into a warrior two pose. Take your feet to your alignment, but then move a little bit, hips. So we investigate, how does it feel? Where do I want the feet placed? Rolling the right thigh out, and then reaching the arms out, shoulders softening down, arms strong, turning towards your right hand. Okay, your opportunity to really align with your intention this morning. What kind of day are you looking to create? We always have a choice. The energy that you bring to your day is important, so set your focus. Remember to be kind to yourself and to others. Just bringing in, weaving in that attitude of gratitude. Turn your right palm up, reach up your right fingers. Going to stay with the right knee bent. Then straighten the right leg. Good. Keep a little softness at the back of the knee so you're not locking the knee back. Now reach forward with your right hand. We're coming into Trikonasana. You might need to adjust the back foot, the left foot a little bit. Right hand on shin. You can always move your left foot slightly closer in. We'll take the left hand to the left hip or waist. And when you feel nice and strong in the legs, reach the left arm up. Let's change the top arm by turning left palm slightly forward and reaching forward with the left arm. Press down even more with your left outer foot and lift up a little bit with the left hip. So I'd like you to really notice what's going on in your left side, left hip. Okay, amazing. Top arm is going to lead you all the way back up. So keep the belly toned. Then rebend your knee and go a little bit wider if you need to, if you brought the feet closer together. Let's come into our side angle pose with your forearm on your thigh or your hand inside the foot. And you can also use a prop if you have one to hand. Draw your right sit bone under and reach the left arm up. Just like you did in Trikonasana, root down with the outer left foot. Lift up a little bit more with the left hip. And then as you reach with your left arm, just check in with your neck. So the head should feel fairly free to move. So you might need to give a little more space between the top of the left shoulder and the ear. You're going to swim that left arm forward and down to the floor, inside the right foot. Lift your left heel. Move your right foot slightly to the right. Bring your hands inside the right foot. Lower your left knee to the floor. So this is lizard pose. And then you can stay in quite a sort of a wide, low lunge with either arms straight, or if it feels available, you can take your forearms to the floor. You might kind of do something in between and use a prop to place the forearms on. So just take a few more breaths here in this lizard pose. Softening into the hips and into the groins. Place the hands on the floor. If you have a prop, just move it off to the side. You might need it actually, so keep it nearby. And then as you come up onto your fingertips, lift your right toes off the floor and start to pull your hips back for half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Now we'll go a few times. I really like this sort of gliding movement. So you're keeping a little bend in the right knee, not straightening it all the way, and just feeling this sort of gliding through the back of the leg as you bend the knee a bit more deeply and then move towards a straight leg. So depending on flexibility, can you feel a little bit more lift up from your hips? So we're finding that space through the spine. Chest is lifting. If you happen to be going to Guildford soon, because you're all pretty local, my friend picked up some cork blocks from Tiger for £1 each. God knows where they were made and what they're made with, but I find the blocks actually are my most valuable yoga prop because they're so versatile. So it's just really nice to bring the floor up to you, especially in the morning. Okay, now we're going to bring that right leg back under the hip. Notice how the right side feels. We're not quite moving on to the second side warrior yet. So we stay in our all fours position. Reach the right leg back. Start with the toes on the floor. So you can lift up your front ribs and your belly and feel that energy of plank pose. Then lift your right foot off the floor, keeping the energy of plank pose, navel to spine, front ribs drawing up. As you exhale, knee to nose, right knee coming in. Inhale, stretch the right leg back, but keep that nice lift up through your belly. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, reach it back. And then maybe a little bit more momentum like we've been doing. So that exhale, squeezing in. Good, last one. Right leg back, toes on the floor. Turn the right foot to the right side, so you're coming towards like a modified plank. Left heel is going to come out to the left, and then we reach the right arm up. So it's very similar to side angle pose. You can take it a step further by pressing firmly into the left hand and pulling the left shoulder blade into the left ribs and reaching the left foot off the floor. So this is a bit like half moon. Or if you want to take it a step further, bring your right hand back to the floor, come into your plank pose and turn both feet to the right side as you come into full Vashisthasana. So that would be right hand on the waist or right arm up. And just giving yourself this bit of time and permission to play. When you come out of whichever version you're doing, I recommend sitting back on the heels, tucking your toes under, and getting some movement in the wrists, circling the wrists or shaking out the wrists. It could also be child's pose. Okay, good. So transition, take your feet wide, bring your hands next to your knees, come into a low squat. You can put your heels down this time if you have perhaps a wider base with the feet, hands coming onto towards the chest, inside the legs. Okay, feel what you feel at the ankles, lift up a little more with the chest, looking to create that energy and space. And then think really super strong legs as we come up to standing. So spread your toes, feel the grounding, press down. You might stretch your arms forward and then come up. Powerful legs all the way up. Good. Big breath in to reach. Exhale, palms together. Step your left foot forward, coming into warrior two, taking a wide stance. Just a moment to really feel the positioning of the foot, the legs, reaching the arms out. I'm going to turn this way so that I can see you all. Looking left. And now we're warm. So again, reconnect with your intention. What are you standing for today? And it needn't be aggressive or harsh. It could be kind and gentle. You can bring your arms down if you need to. So take care of yourselves. Turn your left palm up and reach up your left hand. Yeah, keeping that strong left knee. Straighten your left knee, reach up a little higher. And then Trikonasana. So as you hinge from your left foot, micro bend your left knee, reach forward, slow motion. Hand setting down to the leg, taking the top arm up. Feel free to move your right foot in a few inches if that's helpful. And we're taking the right arm slightly forward. So turn your palm, reach a little bit over the ear with the top arm, connect down with the outside edge of the right foot, lift up a little higher with your right hip. So bringing in that sense of space. Now you're going to lift up via the top arm, use your belly, rebend your left knee, move your feet wider if you need to. Set your left forearm to your thigh or left hand inside, side angle pose. Taking the right arm up and forward. And particularly with this side angle pose, let's think about spinning the ribs up a little bit more, getting that rotation through the spine. Check in with the turn of the neck, whichever way feels most appropriate for you. Feel those smooth, steady ujjayi breaths. Last deep breath here. Bring your hand all the way down to the floor, top arm to the floor. Move your left foot over to the left, coming into lizard pose. So option to keep the back knee up, set the back knee down, both options fine. Hands inside the left foot. Bring in your blocks if you would like to. Stay with straight arms or come down to forearms. So it may feel better to keep your arms straight. That might provide more space for the upper body. Sometimes taking the arms down to the floor, we can feel more sensation in the hips, in the groins. Really meet each day with kind of fresh eyes. We can get very stuck in our habits of movement, of thinking, our habits of breathing. So particularly with the morning practice, it's an amazing opportunity for you to be very intentional about noticing. Notice, sharpen your attention to what you're feeling in your body. It will help you to be attentive throughout your day. How are you breathing? What kind of energy do you want to impart today? What thoughts are you having? You get to choose. Now you're going to bring the hands back a little bit so we can start to straighten the front leg. And it'll be like a gliding movement, starting to straighten, bending, straightening, bending, not going all the way. So just like when we kind of lock out the joints, just feels like we shut off this communication in the body. So feeling that nice gliding action through the back of the leg and perhaps lifting a little bit higher with your chest. Okay, and then we plant the hands, bring the left foot back, come into all fours, send the left leg back, straight leg, toes on the floor, front ribs lifting. There's your strength and power. Lift the left leg up, lengthen through your neck. Slowly exhale as you draw the knee in towards the belly. And then slowly inhale as you stretch the leg back without losing that connection up with the belly. And then speed it up a little bit. So exhale, pull in, inhale, stretch. Two more. Set the foot down, left leg down. That's it. And then turn the right foot out to the right, turn the left foot over to the left. And then plenty of options here. So we have Vashisthasana variation number 1 with the right knee on the floor. Option to pick that left leg up, perhaps challenging strength in the hips, in the spine, in the core, belly, back. Or you could go to full Vashisthasana, which I'm not doing on this side because of my still recovering wrist. And you reset by bringing left hand down, coming into plank pose, and then turning your feet towards the side. Okay, so lovely, strong pose as we come towards the end of our time together. Now, when it's time to return to the floor, I'm going to get you to come onto your back. Bend your knees, one small back bend, which is bridge pose or wheel pose. Heels coming in close to your bum, lengthen through your tail. Lift up and hold your choice of arm posture, hands underneath interlocked, robot arms at your side, or hands on the floor, arms straight. Bringing the breath right up into the upper chest. Last 2 deep breaths. And as your spine comes to the floor, choose the posture that you want to rest in for a few minutes. You can bring your feet together and your knees wide for reclined cobbler's pose, or stretch your legs out straight, or bend your knees and knock your knees together. And if you choose to take a different posture, it's all good. And just connecting into your breath again. So we're not doing 3-part breath, but I want you to really visualize filling up the belly, the chest, all the way to the top of the collarbones. And as you breathe out, let it all go. So take a few more of those beautiful deep breaths. Looking for all those spaces in the ribs, in the back, in the belly. You've done so well. This is a wonderful start to the day. And then soft breath without the need to control or manipulate. Let the breath move in its own easeful manner. So get a sense of your body, of the whole body, just as if you were looking down, sensing the very edges of the body, the tips of the toes, all the fingers. You might feel a sense of energy throughout the body, a sense that the whole body is breathing and vibrant. And every day is this opportunity to choose how you see your body, how you feel. Maybe not the experiences you have, but certainly how you react and interact with those experiences. So that's yours, that's your power. And then just taking a slightly deeper breath as you stretch your arms and your legs. Bring your knees in towards your chest and hug around your shins or your knees. Rock a little bit, side to side, ease out the neck, maybe turning your head a little bit side to side, and really enjoy the sense of touching your body, feeling the nurturing quality of this holding. Do you get enough connection with others, enough connection with yourself? Could you could you find more of that today in some way? This importance of nurturing and touching and feeling. Okay, and then your choice, rolling to your side or rocking forward and back and bringing yourself up to a seated pose. Okay, so we'll conclude with the palms together, just feeling centered at our hearts. You might revisit your intention. Thank you all. Have an amazing day. And thanks for being here, for showing up.